Hare Krishna. I was telling about the cloud of anarthas that block our vision of Krishna's beautiful form. Maya Magdasya Jivasya Gneyo Anarthas Chaturvidaha Hriddurbalyam Cha Aparado Asatrishna Tattva Vibramaha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if one can gain knowledge about these four anarthas, then one can work on removing them, then one can approach Krishna very easily. So, although these are very elaborately explained by him, I will give a very lucid example which will be easy for you to connect with. Say you're going from Pune to Mumbai. On the way, somewhere in Lonavala, you find there's a mist cloud or a fog. You know fog? When fog covers the road, you cannot see ahead. In the Western world, they have fog horn, fog light and all they have because it's difficult to penetrate the fog. Due to that, your speed becomes slowed down. Or if your car has got a heavy luggage at the top, 300 kilos, 500 kilos weight on the top of the car, then when it is going in the ghats, it will go very slowly. You have seen that. It is very difficult for the car to move swiftly. Without luggage, it would move fastly. Or while going in the car, suddenly you become tempted to go and see the waterfalls. You take a deviation, go inside, detour. And then in the name of seeing the nature and beauty, you miss the Bhagavatam class in Bombay. Isn't it? You get distracted. That's one possibility. Or while going in the car, you compete with somebody and you took or hit another's car. Then police will make both the cars go to the side. Go to the side. And your speed is also slowed down. You understand these four analogies, right? What are we comparing this with? Yesterday I told you, carrying a heavy weight above the car makes the car speed slow. That is like the Hriddurbalyam, weakness of heart. And while going in the car, getting distracted by some waterfalls, that is called asatrishna. That means diversion or distraction due to attachment for the temporary. Asatrishna. Similarly, while going in the car, hitting another car or competing with another car in such a way that there is an accident. So that is like the aparad. Aparad with another entity, like that. And the fog or the mist, cloud covering, that is called tattva vibrama. You understand the four things. Now let us understand a little more deeply about this. Tattva vibrama means, tattva means truth, isn't it? Swa tattva vibrama, para tattva vibrama. In understanding who am I in essence, the answer is I am spirit soul, servant of Krishna, isn't it? And what is the absolute truth? Absolute truth is Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the ultimate goal to be attained. That is Paratattva, understanding it properly. Now Vibrama means, Swatattva Vibrama means thinking I am only God. Many Mayavadis think like that. And Paratattva Vibrama means to think that ultimate truth is impersonal and I will merge in absolute truth and become Shanti Shanti. That is Paratattva Vibrama. And another one is Sadhana Vibrama. What sadhana should I perform by which I can attain the ultimate truth? Like we do, our sadhana is chanting Hare Krishna, following 64 regulative principles given by Srila Rupa Goswami. And by living a life of a Vaishnava devotee, we can attain perfection of life. That is sadhana. But sadhana Vibrama means not knowing what method I should do to attain the Lord, concocting or speculating, adopting different things by one's own, fertile brain. That is sadhana Vibrama. Sadhya Vibrama means, what is the sadhya to be attained? Krishna prema is the sadhya. But some people think becoming God is the sadhya. Merging in God is sadhya, they think like that. Or getting siddhis is sadhya. Or getting moksha is sadhya. They are all false understanding. So, Swatattva Vibrama, Paratattva Vibrama, Sadhana Vibrama, Sadhya Vibrama. So, these are all called Vibrama. The fog has to be removed. How will you remove it? If you are driving a car, can you remove the fog outside? Somebody else outside has to remove it. Therefore, Devahuti is praying to her spiritual master. Tasya tvam tamasondasya dushparasya paragham satchakshur janmanamante labdham me tvad anugrahat nirvinnanitaram bhuman asat indriya tarshanat yena sambhavyamanena prapannandham tamah prabho. Prapanna andam tamah prabho. My dear Lord, I am blind and I have fallen into a dark well and I have no ability to ascertain the truth myself. And you have come in my life like a transcendental eye. You are providing me by which I am able to clearly see the truth. So you are removing the mist or fog on my way. So when is the fog or mist removed? When the sun shines in the sky. And the sun is Krishna. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai Andhakar. So it is spiritual master who enlightens us about the sun of Krishna. And then the mist is removed. And then Hriddaurbalyam is actually the weakness of heart. What is weakness of heart? Matsarata, feeling envy for other living entities. Is in Kutinati, duplicity. Or Tucha Icha, it is said, for example, attachment to trivial perishable commodities, and due to which we compete in this world. These kind of things. And also desire for fame, Pratishtha Asha. These are all called as, these cause weakness of heart. Our heart becomes very hard. When you have material attachments, heart becomes hard. Dhritarashtra's heart became hard. Kaikeyi's heart became hard. Suruchi's heart became very hard. So in a hard heart, can Krishna manifest? No. Actually, we say weakness of heart, but weakness causes hardness. So Prabhupada writes about it in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last verse purport. You can read that. Two type of weakness of heart, Hriddaurbalyam. Krishna also scolded Arjuna. Shudram, Hridaya Daurbalyam, Tattva Tishta Parantapa. Wake up, Arjuna. Don't have this weakness of heart. He said, why? Because if you have weakness of heart, you become so hard, you don't follow my good instruction. You reject it. Therefore, you should have soft heart. So Hriddaurbalyam. And weakness of heart is hard heart. Hard heart is heavy weight above the car. You cannot go ahead. With a heavy weight, the load is heavy. You can't progress in your spiritual life. You get stuck due to matsarata, envy towards other living entities, desire for fame, desire for trivial things and things like that. And Pratishtha Asha and all these things. Kutinati, doing duplicitous activities. All these people get stuck in that. They can't progress in spiritual life. And so Hriddaurbalyam, aparado. Aparado is what? Like Nama Aparad. You know, the 10 offenses. Dham Aparad, Seva Aparad. And there is a Jiva Aparad also. Aparad to the living entities. Which means one should not commit offenses to devotees. We know that. But there is also called Jiva Aparad or Jana Aparad, which means people who are not devotees, we should not mistreat them also. Sometimes we mistreat them by the way we deal with them, thinking that they are non-devotees, but later on they'll become devotees. Like Dhruva Maharaj was mistreated when he was not a fully blossomed devotee by his stepmother, and then later on she got into trouble because of that. So one should avoid aparadha, means that which takes you away from Radharani's lotus feet. So that is aparadha. Also radha means bliss. Aparad means you lost the bliss. You became dried like a dried cake with no oil. Therefore, one wants to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. One should not commit offenses to the holy name or holy dham or seva aparad while doing seva. Carelessness in service should be avoided, and offenses to the other jiva should be avoided. So, like going in the car, yes, you can go in your car, but you have to follow the lane, and you should not try to overtake, and you should not hit another car out of envy or whatever. So, aparad should not be committed. Then, otherwise, your speed will be practically stopped. Yeah. Hriddaurbalyam cha aparado asatrishna tattva vibrama. Asatrishna is taking diversion away. That means distraction means alternative attraction. I am supposed to go to Bhagavatam class in Bombay ISKCON temple. I am going towards it, but suddenly some distraction comes. I take a detour. I go to see waterfalls, or I go to get some cool air. I'll go to see some scenic beauty. Then my goal of reaching Bombay and attending class is lost. So in the same manner, Asat Krishna. Sat means Krishna. Asat means that which is temporary. Trishna means hankering. What are they? Earthly pleasures, heavenly pleasures. They are all called bhukti kam. Then desire for siddhis. I want to show off. I want to get some powers. I want to become popular. Uh, Of course, those who want siddhi want to walk on water, fly on sky. You may say that, Prabhuji, that's not my desire. I'm not so great siddha. But we also have a desire to control the world, the desire to dominate others, and that is also siddhi kam, mukti kam, desire for getting moksha and merging in God. These are all actually distraction in our path to attaining love of God. So, earthly pleasures, heavenly pleasures, pleasures of siddhi and mukti. So these are all asat trishna. They distract us from the goal. So if we can avoid these four, then we can very rapidly progress towards the ultimate goal of Krishna prema. So we are chanting the holy name daily, but in the course of the day, think about these four things. What are some of the things that I am stuck in this world with, due to which I am not progressing fastly in Krishna consciousness? So the material attachments of dhanam, janam, sundarim. So that kind of attachments also, they are distractions. They are also coming in the asat trishna. Because they are false things, temporary things, perishable things, here today, gone tomorrow things. So we should not chase after them. So we have to chase after Krishna, who is permanent, imperishable, eternal, everlasting, and our relationship with him is also everlasting. So contemplate on this, that I want to aspire for the vastava vastu, which means a real object which will never perish, after attaining which I will be happy forever. Other commodities you attain, you are temporarily happy and then it's lost. So we don't want such perishable commodities. So one has to, the disciple has to hear these things and contemplate on these things and gradually come to ascertain the ultimate goal of life. Then the chanting of the holy name can be done with full-blown consciousness that other than Krishna, I don't want anything. I want Krishna, not Krishna itara. So one will come to that right conclusion. Therefore, the chanting of the holy name requires a certain type of attitude. Krishna is my master, I am his servant, I am in a foreign place, I have to return back to my Lord. I have forgotten his service for millions of lifetimes. Now it's in my interest that I serve him, love him, serve him, and be at his lotus feet eternally. So with this consciousness, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang this. Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budhau kripaya tava pada pankajastita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. Oh my Lord Krishna, I am an eternal servant. Some or other I have left your association. I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up and place me in your lotus feet and engage me in your eternal loving service. Like that he prayed. So this is the mood in which the chanting of Hare Krishna should be done every day. All of you repeat, Oh Lord, please purify me, uplift me, accept me. So Srila Prabhupada said this in some of his letters. If this is the way you chant, then all these four anarthas can be cleansed off and you can progress very quickly to Krishna. Harinam Prabhu ki. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desert trees or ocean of mercy, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki,